365 Sports.
The Kansas City Chiefs are not going to make the playoffs in 2025. However, unlike a lot of the other teams that will not make the playoffs, the Chiefs have much bigger problems in their cap space. We talk about today 4 moves that will save the Chiefs a lot of money in cap space and what those moves are, as we welcome you in here to the Chiefs Report on 365 Sports. Hope you're having a wonderful day after Christmas, and for that matter, hopefully you had a wonderful Christmas or whatever you celebrate or are having time and fun with friends and family. Of course, we're happy that you made us a part of your day as always and got some interesting things today. The Chiefs played last night. That's great. It really could be the final game for Travis Kelce, but I'm tired of this whole speculation stuff. It's just kind of sad, and I'm ready to not move on, but look at what the future holds for the Chiefs, and in some ways play Brett Veach, play GM, try and see if there's ways that we can help the Chiefs out, because as of right now, they are not in a good space. In fact, right now they are $48 million over the cap threshold for the National Football League. And if you think that is bad, you're right, because if we take a look at a lot of, well, let's say other pieces of teams, we can see very clearly that they are the worst team in 2026 when it comes to salary cap. Now, as of right now, there's a lot of teams that are over the cap. I'm pretty sure the New Orleans Saints are always over the cap threshold and find a way to make $30 million and make a good signing. That's how it works. And that's how NFL teams kind of work in it this day and age. But for the Chiefs, it is an interesting manner because you always expect to be coming off a Super Bowl. You expect to kind of have that happiness and not have to worry about, oh, well, how are they going to make this cap space work? Whereas now the stress has somewhat set in, at least on me, about what's the situation for the upcoming season. What's the situation for this team and how can they figure out ways to make it better next season? How can Brett Veach figure out what to do with this team? Well, that's where we go kind of today, talking about what exactly the Chiefs can do, because their salary cap is, like I said, in an interesting place in 2026. And to put this out there, this is not including a new contract for Travis Kelce. And I think that's very purposeful, knowing that he might retire. He also could come back. And in that case, the Chiefs have to pay him some money. It's the way it goes. So he could take a cheap contract, I guess. But again, it's a whole thing. So you can see here kind of the list of players that are going to be pretty expensive. I'm not going to go through it. If you want to pause, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see all of them. Otherwise, you can always go to overthecap.com and kind of see the layout of all of this and looking at everything in terms of a numerical standpoint for the Kansas City Chiefs that put them at this $48 million over the mark limit. That's where we come in to try and save the day, or Brett Veach in this case scenario. And we're going to talk about 4 different moves that the Chiefs can do right after the season to save cap space. And we've got a couple of different ideas. Again, this is not the only 4 ways that they can save cap space. However, I believe these are the best 4 ways in the short-term time threshold. So the first one we are going to talk about, and the one that is very obvious, especially if you just look through the over the cap kind of scene and see who's at the top of the list there, it's time to move on from Jawaan Taylor. You have to cut him. That would immediately save you $20 million. So that $48 million that you're going to have to get automatically below, you're cutting it basically in half right there by just cutting an offensive lineman who is really not that beneficial to your team. And so we look at his contract, and you can see here on your screen again, if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not, I'll kind of do my best to play it out for you. But Jawaan Taylor is coming up on the final year of his contract here in 2026. There is a potential out here for 3 years, $60 million. It would be about a $7 million dead cap hit. Either way you slice it, though, you're still saving $20 million. And the reason behind all this is because the back 2 years of Jawaan Taylor were in, to put it in layman's terms, the big money makers. That's where they moved the majority of his contract. In 2023, when he originally signed this contract, his base salary was $1,080,000. His signing proportion, meaning a bonus or all that, was going to be about $4 million. Now, with that, they backloaded the contract. They also restructured it at times. They then paid him $11,500,000 in 2024. But in the years 2025 and 2026, Jawaan Taylor will get paid $19,500,000, and the same will be happening next year if they don't cut him. He's taking up about 9% of the cap space value, which is a lot for, again, a guy who, in my opinion, is not worthy of any of that money. We look at his PFF grades, as we often do with these offensive linemen, and it's not in a good spot. It's not. As of right now, he has a 53.3 PFF rate, which is 72nd out of 83 tackles. 72nd out of 83 tackles. Now, his pass block grade is decent, 67.3. That's 46th. His run blocking grade is just completely horrible, 43.8. Now, you'll see the Broncos logo on the right side. That does mean that this is not including the most recent game last night versus the Broncos. I doubt it would help much from what I saw last night, but who knows? Obviously, he didn't even play. But again, it's a whole different story. But again, let's go to the offensive depth chart and kind of make our way through this decision. So we're cutting Jawaan Taylor. At that point, you look at your positional alignment of your tackles, and you've got Jalen Moore, who played last night, by the way, right ahead, right there. I think he has a good spot. We also talk about Essa Pohl. He came up out of a UDFA, was on the practice squad, got to the active roster. Seems like there's a lot of happiness around him. So in that tackle position, you're in a very good spot. You can also draft, you can also sign, because you're going to be saving millions of dollars. And I guarantee you, there is somebody who, the $20 million you save, you can sign somebody for $5 million that will be better than Jawaan Taylor. I promise you right now. And so that makes the most sense to me. Now, there is a couple things to obviously digest with this. He did sign that 4-year, $80 million deal in March of 2023, and it looked bad pretty much immediately. 44 games with Kansas City. Taylor has been called for 43 penalties. 43 penalties in 44 games. His first year back in 2023, it was false start central. He was false starting every single play. He was holding. It's been bad. And specifically in multiple games, there have been penalties that have come at the worst time. The worst time. So it's pretty much, I think, already a foregone conclusion in a lot of my mind that they are going to cut him. Again, it saves you $20 million. For a guy who has the penalties that we just talked about, a contract that was way overpriced pretty much immediately after he signed it, and a team that is already not using on the back here of the last 2 games of the season, and having a Jalen Moore who's played a lot this season, to be fair, you're in a good spot. You're in a good spot. You're going to get Josh Simmons back. It's such a obvious solution here for Brett Veach. And this has been coming for 2 years, I really do think. I mean, this contract didn't settle well pretty much immediately. And I think Jawan better count as lucky stars he wasn't cut last year. And the reason he wasn't was because they weren't going to save any money. But at that point in time, it was more or less like, we paid for him, let's keep him. This point in time, we paid for you, but we can save some money if we cut you. And for that reason, the dead cap might be $7 million, but we're going to save $20 million. There's no point, literally no point in that. So let's go back to the mark here. Chiefs are $48 million over at this current time. You cut Jawaan Taylor, as I mentioned, that's $20 million away. We're down to $28 million over that cap threshold. That is where we sit right now. That's where we go to step number 2, in which you were restructuring Trey Smith's contract. Now, different to Jawaan Taylor, Taylor did not deserve that contract and has not lived up to it. Trey Smith deserves that contract and has lived up to what he has signed. Now, he received the franchise tag, of course, and then he signed the contract for the $94 million to remain with the Kansas City Chiefs for 4 years. He carries a $19.75 million base salary in 2026. And again, that is something they can easily restructure. Let's go look at his contract here on Over the Cap. We can see that he'll be 27 next year, and will make, again, $19,750,000. This is going to be something they're going to have to probably keep restructuring, given how much they're paying certain members of their team. $23,250,000 is how much Trey Smith will get paid in both 2027 and in 2028. And I'm sure at this point in time, given we've gone through Jawaan Taylor, we've gone through now Trey Smith, you're probably asking the question, Why does this happen? Why is this something where the Chiefs backload the contract? Well, it's for a reason, specifically because the cap space in the NFL is rising every single year. There's more and more cap space every year due to a number of different factors. The NFL becoming more profitable, inflation, other things that we don't need to get into. But that's why they backload the contract, because they might not have to restructure it as much or at all if they put more money on the back end rather than the front end. But again, for the players, it's security. It's saying, I have 4 years where you are going to pay me. And if you get guaranteed money and all that, you're getting more of that. So that's a big thing. But again, talking about this restructurement, you could potentially save $12 million by just turning a majority, again, of that $19,750,000 salary into bonus. You can turn about $10 million for cap relief is kind of the way they can use that as a signing bonus in theory to Smith, which would put a potential savings to about $12 million. I mean, that's a pretty good carry right there, because you can do a good amount of that signing bonus there. So we're talking $12 million is kind of the number that is probably the most likely amount to be given. So again, this is all based on just prior restructurement and prior than that. Trey Smith, however, has been absolutely amazing for this team. He's been literally fantastic. I mean, you talk about a guy who has lived up to his contract. It's Trey Smith. He deserves to be paid like one of the highest guards in the NFL, and he is that way. Again, we go to PFF grades when we talk about these offensive linemen. He's got a 69.9 PFF grade in 2025. This, of course, playing through injuries and tough, and that's a 22nd out of 79th grade. He also has a 74.9 pass blocking grade, which, of course, is very important with the Chiefs, and that ranks him 10th amongst all guards in the NFL. Obviously, he has one of the highest paying contract for guards in the NFL right now, and he is very much worth that. So let's go again back to the monetary value. Chiefs are $48 million. We then went to the move where we cut Jawaan Taylor, and that is $20 million off right there. Bang. You're talking $28 million. Then we talked about the restructurement of Smith, which will save around $12 million. Again, rough estimating some of this. I'll get to the main amount of savings at the end of it, but rough estimating about $12 million in restructurement, getting that bonus of over $10 million to Trey Smith. You are then knocking it down from $28 million, like we said, to then going to below the 20 million mark and into the 16 million or so mark, 16, 15 million mark. That's obviously a good spot, but again, you're still $15 to $16 million over the cap. When we come back here on the Chiefs Report, we're going to tell you what other ways they can do to save and how at the end of this, they're going to be up over $28 million in the positive to try and go out and sign some people. We'll talk about that when we come back. We got break time here on the Chiefs Report, a part of 365 Sports.
Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At 25 Home, our ultimate goal is to provide you with a transformative experience, making each day feel like it has an extra hour. We believe your home is more than just a space, it's a sanctuary where comfort, relaxation, and happiness thrive. Discover the difference at 25 Home today. Shop now at 25home.com.
I need to get real excited.
Sure.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Sheridan Vasquez. And this is Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions. And I will be interviewing some of your favorite musicians and maybe some you've never heard before. Join me on Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions for something new every time. You can find Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions anywhere you get your podcast or at roguemediamusic.com. Yeehaw. And keep the music playing.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. Want to turn your passion into profit? With Blogify, creating a blog has never been easier. Build, customize, and grow your site with powerful tools designed for beginners and pros alike. Start sharing your story today and watch your audience grow with Blogify. Visit blogify.ai today for a free 3-day trial. That's Blogify, Blogify.ai today. Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Stay connected no matter where you are with eSIMX. Say goodbye to expensive roaming charges and physical SIM cards. With access to over 200 global carriers, we make mobile connectivity seamless and affordable for travelers worldwide. Join the future of communication today at eSIMX.com. That's ESIMX.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Easy Sun has been living fearlessly under the sun since 2016. Born from sailors' need for convenient sun protection, our mineral sunscreen is crafted with natural ingredients offering broad spectrum protection against UVA and UVB rays. Safe for your skin and the environment, stay protected on the go with Easy Sun, your ultimate sun care solution. Visit EasySun.com today. That's EEZYSUN.com.
Welcome back here to the Chiefs Report, a part of 365 Sports. I'm Jace Andrews. We're talking about how the Chiefs are going to save some cap space this offseason. We've already gone through how they can save potentially up to $20 million by cutting Jawaan Taylor, about $12 million by restructuring Trey Smith's contract. So immediately $32 million, $33 million right there that you are saving right off the rip. And we're bringing it down. $15 million to $16 million is what we're at currently right now, with the Chiefs being $48 million in that savings. How can we get them to save some more? Well, guess what? We got a big hitter and something that happens every single year and probably will happen for the rest of this man's contract, and that is to restructure Patrick Mahomes' contract. Now, Patrick Mahomes signed a big 10-year contract, but one of the biggest reasons they were able to do so is because of the flexibility. In 2024, he did it, which created $21.6 million by restructuring it. Again, this past offseason, they did a $78 million cap hit. Again, they did it this past offseason where they saved more. Now, we got to go look at this contract because, I would love to have this money in my lifetime, much less in a year's worth of work. But next season, Patrick Mahomes is supposed to make $45 million with a cap hit of $78 million due to all the other things that we've talked about with restructured add-ons and so on. That is a lot of money. $78 million is the cap hit that he will carry going into this season. They can restructure that and they can save a decent amount of money. They can lower it to about a little bit. It's hard to tell sometimes with these restructurements, but they can turn 45.34. That's his base salary. They can turn that into basically his signing bonus, meaning he would get a cap saving hit of $44.36 million. Let me try and explain this in a better way. I don't think that came out in the proper way. Right now, his base salary is $45.34 million, as you just saw. If you are able, which you are, you can turn that into a signing bonus, so to say, in the offseason, which can save you then 44, because a certain amount has to be paid to him, obviously. You can save about 44. For reference, last year, or this year, I guess, Mahomes got a $1.255 million contract. That was how much money he was making. In theory. Same situation, though. He was getting paid a lot. They restructured it to pay it out. They had about $21 million in restructuring. And that this year, they're probably going to have upwards of $40 million in restructuring. But again, that's the way the Chiefs did it for this contract. That was purposeful. And that move alone would get you most of the $48 million. However, we've already gone through how to save more than that. Or not more than that, but save around $32 million. So we're at $15 to $16 million of cap space deficit. Then you save $44 million. Boom, you are in the plus right away. And not just in the plus, you're upwards of about $20 million in the plus, which is a very good thing to do. And those are the three simple moves. Those three are the biggest. And we're going to do four, as we've got one more move for you that just is easy. Maybe a little harder after last night, and you'll kind of explain that in a second, but I do think that this is a thing you should do as well. The fourth and final move the Chiefs can do to save some cap space, is to cut Kristian Fulton. He carries a $5 million cap saving with that cut after he signed a 2-year, $20 million contract as a depth role for cornerback, and I don't think there's a reason for him to be on here. Just looking at his stats this season alone, he has only appeared in 7 games for the Chiefs, playing in the first game, having 1 tackle, playing against Philadelphia, Indianapolis, and LA, and all getting no stats in those games. 2 tackles against Denver the first time, 10 tackles against Tennessee back on the 21st. That was a revenge game. He was played with Tennessee Titans. They traded him away. Revenge game. It was a 2nd-round pick for the Titans. He wanted to say, I'm good enough, and then he went right back to him and played in against Denver, got 3 tackles, 2 solo, 1 stuff. He played good. Honestly, he played well last night. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was a bad showing for Kristian Fulton. But I do think that it's not worth it to keep him, especially if you're going to plan to sign, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson, all that stuff. Get your cornerback room to the same spot. Then you don't need that. You can go draft somebody. I think the plan is to kind of get a cornerback, in that time frame as well. So go back to the moves real quick. $48 million. Then boom, you cut it to $28 million. Then you're going to cut it immediately to about, let's be on average here, about $16 million. Then you save the big one, $44 million by restructuring Patrick Mahomes' contract. And that is, of course, such a huge marker for so many different reasons. And you're around the potential of about $28 million. Again, there's other stuff going on there. So you're saving about $81 million. And this is the exact amount that I kind of came up with, but kind of found online with all the ways we were structured. $81.613 million is the total savings for the Chiefs, meaning they are going to have a rough cap space of about $28.8 million. That is a dang good turnaround for the Kansas City Chiefs. Dang good turnaround. I think all things considered, if you came in here saying, $48 million, no way, and then you switched around, that's a pretty dang good thing you're able to do. So that's huge. The Chiefs, I think this is simple for 3 of these moves. I know they're going to cut Jawaan Taylor. I think restructuring Mahomes' contract is a given. Restructuring Smith is not too far-fetched. It's a big one that I think would be easy to do. And then, of course, Kristian Fulton, if you're going to save $5 million, you might as well do it. I just don't think it's worth it at this point. He has only played 7 games, and it's just a mistake. They can get out of it in the spring very easily. Again, it helps a lot. So $28.8 million is what the Chiefs can have after all these cap space, moves, cap space savings. And at that point, you can make the decision on what you want to use that $28 million with / how you can save more. Like I said at the beginning of the show, this is not the only way to save money for the Chiefs. However, these are just the 4 simplest ways to kind of get back to that positive threshold. So let me know your thoughts, of course, if there's any other restructurements or cuts or anything that you would add on to this that you think is an easy decision. Let me know in the comment section. I'm curious for your 2 cents on it. I kind of want to know what everybody's thinking in the comment section. As always, we will be back talking about it more on Monday. We're going to let the weekend rest. Again, hope you had a great Christmas. Hopefully you're having some great time with your family, friends. And for now, we're going to say peace out. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on Apple Music or Spotify, hit that follow button so you catch everything related to the Kansas City Chiefs. For now, though, we're going to say peace out.
365 Sports